Greetings, everyone. Greetings. I'd like to start off with the 528 breaths. Peace and wholesome to all of you as well. Okay. So, an announcement. The first announcement is the whistles you can find on my website. Remember, they are tuned to 528 hertz. They have so many different colors. One is like a holder, green, and you pop it in there. You can carry on it on your necklace wherever you go. Really neat. You can find that on my website. No drums. Not sure what you mean by that. Yeah. Tonight we have the mental breathwork. It's week number 1 out of 10. This week was about expansion and utilizing a little snippet from quantum breathing and utilizing that in real case scenarios when people are talking to one another. Specifically also the hands, because we see our hands 24/7, 365. Anything you see on a consistent basis, you can utilize as a tool, specifically as a manifestation tool, if you want to put it in that sense, or a beautiful tool to rewire certain parts of your subconscious, because you see it every day, right? So why not utilize it as a beneficial tool that your subconscious doesn't have to overwork itself too much. And when you work with, in general, that type of tool utilization is so powerful because it's easier for the subconscious mind to pick up on. And when you bring the conscious mind into play, it's easier to rewire certain connections because you built such a bond with it already. So utilizing that part of your subconscious, the frequency of the connection is so strong and powerful. You can utilize it to rewire certain habits, cutting certain cords, if you want to bring it like that. And it builds an awareness. Specifically, this week was definitely building the awareness of the power of expansion with the breath going back and forth, utilizing the eyes, and we did it specifically with the hands, and then I shared how it's great to do with the people you're talking to in that sense, and great feedback in general, and I'm really pumped to have this integration time where everyone in the breath family will come together and share what it's like, having that single focus this whole week. And next week, we'll vote either it's going to be on touch or it's going to be audio, utilizing audio for the mental breathwork side. And the audio part, the audio part's going to be a trip. So I wanted to touch on melanin since that was a hot topic. These few lives that I just randomly hopped on. I was on Queen, I forgot her name already. But I was on Queen's Live, if you guys caught that yesterday. My friend who sent me this live is fasting from drums, so letting her know that it's safe for her to listen. Oh, that's cool. Shex Royale. She says her friend is fasting from drums. You see, it's just so important to realize that fasting, it's not just about fasting from food. It's from fasting from negative people in general. There's so many different layers of fasting that we need to become more aware of, right? Fasting from just listening to music and just being in the silence and listening to your natural habitat sound in general. Fasting from light, certain artificial lights. I've actually worked with a company. I had them use candles when they're at work at one point. And the stress levels, the cortisol levels, man, whoosh, even though they were still on their laptops and everything, but that's how big of a difference. And at the time, I didn't really play around with red light therapy. That would have been cool. I worked with another company 2 years afterwards. I started having red light in certain places. And even with the artificial light, you'd be surprised how the red light helps balance certain areas and stuff of that nature. Yeah, interesting. It's interesting that your friend is fasting from drums. I never heard that one, just fasting from drums. But drums itself can be also healthy. You know, there's the shamanic drums. There's drums that are made out of certain animal material, stuff like that. But I want to talk about breath and melanin. And we're going to dive into some eye breathing as well and how it ties into all that. And this isn't to make anyone feel a certain way. I'm just sharing how important the power of melanin is within all of us. Doesn't matter if you're a certain dark skin color. At the end of the day, we all have melanin. All right. I just want to share how important this is, and mind you, this was on live television, which is also wild as well. So I'm going to play this video, and we're going to dive into some eye breathing as well, and we're going to dive into a little bit of science behind the eye breathing before we even get into it. And this is a nice introduction to it, and will help some people. And I saw someone, blessed amigo, love from Colombia. What's going on, Pablo? Yeah, Pablo was here a couple weeks ago. Found you on YouTube, by the way. Yeah, if you guys don't know my YouTube channel, it is Devon the Black Airbender. And if you have seen some of my lives on here, see what it's like, the difference going on YouTube and maybe playing the same exact live video, and see how that feels different. And leave a comment, because I normally just re-upload my Instagram lives to YouTube, but before I even do that, I imprint the scalar videos in the background, and also the 0-point generator as well is low-key in there. So I'm really curious if you can feel the difference. Let me know. I already got so many confirmation. There's one person that like religiously watched me. He felt it, so that was really cool. All right, so take a look at this. Where is it? Oh, there it is.
Truth regarding the genetic differences between blacks and whites. End quotes, you know?
Wait a minute. I want to make sure we don't have that problem again. I just took out the mic. Can you guys hear me? Yes, those scalar videos I want to share, please. All right.
Truth regarding the genetic differences between blacks and whites. End quotes. You know it's going to be interesting, and it was. Quote, 1. Dr. Richard King reveals that the core of the human brain is the locus coeruleus, which is a structure that is black because it contains large amounts of neuromelanin, which is essential for its operation. 2. Black infants sit, crawl, and walk sooner than whites. 3. Carol Barnes notes that human mental processes are controlled by melanin, that same chemical which gives blacks their superior physical and mental abilities. 4. Some scientists have revealed that most whites are unable to produce melanin because their pineal glands are often calcified or non-functioning. Pineal calcification rates with Africans are 5 to 15%, Asians 15 to 25%, and Europeans 60 to 80%. This is the chemical basis for the cultural differences between blacks and whites. And 5, melanin endows blacks with greater mental, physical, and spiritual abilities, something which cannot be measured based on Eurocentric standards. End quote. Let that sink in. With regarding the genetic difference.
That was really wild on live TV, talking like that. Like I said, this isn't to make anyone feel a certain way, and it's something to understand. If we have mirror neurons, right? If we have mirror neurons that mimic certain energies within people, and the body communicates back and forth, right? And some people may believe in past lives, right? So who's not to say that once upon a time you were as dark as me, but in this lifetime you're light, or in that case. But beyond all that, there's an energetic force in the essence of melanin, you could say, that resides in all of us. At the end of the day, everyone has melanin. I think that's super important to talk about in general. Everyone has melanin. It goes beyond, oh, he's this color, so he has more melanin. There are some people that is this color and, eat modified stuff and are, packed in their colon. And there's people that are lighter than that skin color and live a complete opposite life. Who do you think has more, at least, connectivity to their melanin? All it is, the melanin is the electrical producer, in a sense. It's a component of our electricity in the body, and that also affects the aura, so forth and so on. It also affects the magnetic field. It also affects, and even down to the simplistic aspect of the magnetic field, they have found melanin in space, right? So if you have melanin all the way down here and there's melanin in space, don't you think there's a gravitational, not even gravitational, there is a magnetic connection in that sense of energy, right? That's why in general, don't care what race you are, in general, why is it a good habit to always look up most of the time? Not referencing the movie, but it's a great habit to always look up, and how much anxiety just getting the habit of looking up reduces. Why is that? Well, if you want to even dive into the spirituality, let's go beyond that. Just like what I said, everyone has melanin. Doesn't matter what race you are, everyone has melanin. Everyone has melanin, right? And they found melanin in space, or they know melanin to be in space. And some people may connect that to the fact that, or allude to the idea that us humans are not even from here. We're not even from Earth, right? Now, beyond that, let's talk about the magnetic aspect. So when we're always looking up, get in the habit of gazing up, or when I work with business people in general, when they go into their offices or before meetings, I tell them, hey, gaze up to the corner of the wall and do some eye breathing back and forth, and let's get more comfortable with this space. And it makes a huge difference, especially if you live in the city. If you live in a city like New York, I dare you to get in the habit of just gazing upwards, and how much anxiety and less stress you feel off just one day of doing that. Makes a big difference, huge difference. And that shows you the magnetic force within us that is melanin, if you want to call it that, is connected to the stars, the space in general, to the melanin out there. Shoot, melanin is more valuable than the physical gold, right? So when you hear all this stuff about space mining, if they really do leave space, they're not just talking about gold out there. They're looking to harness some type of melanin aspect of energy. And let's dive into the eyes before this little short practice that we're going to be doing with the eye breathing. I sneeze. Yes, gaze upwards. All right, so, Dune. I should have edited the photo. You guys can't even see it. But basically, they're saying the presence of melanin, it's like right there, the nasal side. Wherever you see the part with the nasal side, they're literally saying that, I honestly might just restart this slide, but going back to the main point, they're saying that the nasal side of the eye, of the parts of the cornea of the eye, has the most melanin. Has one of the most potent parts of our human bodies. That's where the melanin is, and that's why the pupil itself is black, is dark. It's super dark. Doesn't matter what eye color you have, there's still that black spot there, right? What is that? That's melanin. Point blank period. There's a reason why sun gazing in general is so powerful at the right times. specifically, especially when you are starting out, even sunbathing. I had someone message me about some issues with sunbathing. You need to understand there are different factors, especially with your skin type, of course. If you want to go into the melanin with the factors of skin, yes. If you're darker, it takes a little bit more time for the sun to absorb into the body. In a sense, if you're lighter, you're more sensitive to the skin at a certain point. Now, if you have more chlorophyll in the body, or if you're doing more breathing exercises, in due time, you are going to see you are not going to be pale anymore. You're going to be more darker skin because what's happening, your melanin is being more activated in that sense. Now, with the melanin being more activated, it's more receptive to light. Anywhere you go, and that's why going back to the whole light fasting, if you stray away from artificial light for a whole week and just be in darkness, or at least a whole day will make a huge difference. Big time. When I work with people that have severe headaches and all that stuff, we start with the light. Because your body feeds off light. Your body reads the light. The melanin inside your skin reads. Again, doesn't matter what skin color you are, your body reads light. We are all light energetic beings. So that being said, when you stray away from fluorescent light, specifically fluorescent light, your body will reduce its cortisol level. That's one. Down to the phone light. Did you know the phone light in general has a direct correlation to your cortisol levels? That's why eye breathing is, I think it's going to be great for everyone here. Eye breathing is a great combator for that in that sense. And you guys are going to feel the huge difference. And yes, we are the light. I love that. I love that Flying Bee 406. Thank you for that. I was just going to get to that. Just like when you close your eyes in meditation for a long time, or you focus, it doesn't even have to be a visual. It doesn't have to be a visual. If people can feel you in general, even though it's unseen by the naked eye, there are certain lenses, there are certain technologies that can read this and do that. But feeling is in general. If light is information, what do you think that people are feeling? They're feeling light. They're feeling your light. They're feeling that information within the melanin receptors that they have. Okay? And yeah, we're going to tap into some eye breathing. Bear with me. Let me see if I can get the other one in. Well, this was my other point. Melanin is always... This is going to be in my Breath Consciousness book, by the way, as well. So what they're saying is people who start to have eye issues in general, their melanin in their eyes start to reduce. It starts to reduce at a certain level and point in time. So that goes to show you, in general, how important our melanin receptors, just the melanin in our bodies, how important that is. How treating the sun to the skin is important. Yes, blind people see shades of light. Indeed they do. There's actually a place in Colorado, which is actually the reason why I became more public when I took time off social media at a point in time. Because my friend Faldari, he did a whole documentary on blind people utilizing energy to see. Literally driving blind, they practice go-karts, those little go-karts. They have like a whole roadmap, and they're utilizing aura meditations to literally see. You see, when one of the senses is gone, just because one cannot detect light physically in their eyes, they can feel it though. And that feeling ties all the way back to the whole melanin thing. Melanin goes so deep. I would love I am the sound guy to hop on here because he had some great points. It was very interesting. Let's see if I can get the third one in here. Okay, there we go. At least I got the third one in here. So the melanin in the interior of the eye as well as the skin is activated by electromagnetic radiation. Sounds like the sun. And by the way, this picture right here is zooming in into the eyeball. You see those black spots all around? That is melanin receptors in the eyes. And man, it looks like the sun. As above, so below, as they say. As in this case of a diabetic retinopathy that was treated with laser photon regulation or coagulation, the pigment is activated, although not in uniform manner. So when it's in uniform manner, you'll actually see more darker spots, no matter how white the eyes are in the back. And if you really zoom in into the cornea, you'll see more darker spots start to form. And these darker spots are, again, those are the melanin receptors in the body. And look at this. When oxygen-sensitive electrodes, oxygen-sensitive. And now we're going to tie into why breath and melanin go well together and why it's important for everyone. Is not in you. All right, so the level of oxygen is significantly higher in the pigmented areas. You see some of those pigmented areas. That is where basically the melanin are still alive, at least in the eyes, trying to feed the cornea of the eye to survive. So, tapping into breath itself. We're going to do some eye breaths, some eye breathing. And someone goes, I didn't look at the sun for 2 days, and I sat behind the computer, and now my eyes hurt really bad when looking at the sun. Yeah, so when it comes to sun gazing in general, and we're going to tap into it. When it comes to sun gazing in general, you want to start off slow. You want to start off with the sunrise or the sunset. That's it. During the day, you don't even look at the sun. What you could do is keep your eyes closed and gaze at the sun that way too. You'll still receive, light penetrates. But the beautiful thing about the skin is it take what it needs. Take what it needs. That also applies to your eyes. It takes what it needs at that point in time. Now, when you add the eye breathing, and you can also do this with your eyes closed while the sun is hitting you at the same time. Question, oxygen levels higher or lower upon location? That actually doesn't matter, and I'll tell you why. And why I focus more on the X cells, if anything, and this also ties into the absorption, if you will, of more biophotons or the energy coming from the sun. And some of you will start to notice when you utilize this style of breathing, I'm sure many people have in the Alchemy Breathwork group or my one-on-ones, especially, summer's around the corner. When it's hot and you're doing that, you tend to feel cool. Why do you feel cool afterwards of utilizing that type of breath work? Why? Well, you're diving into the parasympathetic. That's one. 2, the parasympathetic is the closest to rest, digest, and heal. Not sympathetic. Parasympathetic. Parasympathetic will know what to do and utilize your spine, the energy in your spine, a lot more in a deeper sense, and utilize it to transmute all that heat you're feeling. Is it really heat though? All the heat you're feeling, and spread it out evenly in the body and transmute it into more of an energetic feel and then that internal resonance you start to build up will give you a cooling sensation. Yes, lots of meditation in the sun with my eyes closed, facing the sun. In PA, it's winter, not too much sun, no sun gazing, no shirt. It's great. Sun gazing, you need special lens. You can see all the spots on the sun. Looks like a giant eyeball. It does. I look at the sun as a black, you can see the black hole in the sun. The sun is literally a black hole, actually, if you have the so-called special lens that you're talking about. I'm sure that's what you're referring to in that sense. And it's interesting, but it makes sense of why the sun is a black hole if it's have all the rays of the light. And what does black do? What is black? Black is not truly the absence of light, or absent of color, sorry. What black is, if you were to get all the paint in the world and just mesh them all together, you have black, right? So that is probably one of the reasons why with our cornea, with our eyes, with our pupils, when we do sun gazing, why we absorb it. Why we absorb it. Yes, black is the source of all colors, the holistic gangsta. What's going on, brother? Can you speak to data downloads in sunlight and light frequency? So light itself, so there's a study I should have uploaded this study that they did with sending light to sperm. I forgot what specific animal they were using, but they literally was sending light information of sperm into an egg utilizing light. The sperm is not even touching the egg. They're just beaming the light codes from the sperm into the egg, and the egg is fertilized and ready to spawn new kids utilizing light. And that's what light is. Light is simply information particles. Information particles. That's why it's also great to really focus on, let's take this for instance, if we're diving into the daily life, because that's what alchemy breathwork is about, right? So whatever you're drinking, whatever you're eating at that point in time, and this is also a great way to build healthy habits. I think I did a video like this for Thanksgiving for people. You set your intentions, blah, blah, blah. Every time the food is in your mouth or you're drinking something, close your eyes. Get in the habit of doing that and see how dramatically different it feels. And what's happening is with your eyes closed, there's a certain range of information that is traveling back and forth. And in terms of biocommunication, as soon as you see the food, close your eyes, put in your mouth, it's going to read what you're eating or drinking in a faster sense in terms of biofeedback. There it is. There's the word I was looking for. The biofeedback is dramatically higher. And I definitely want to test this at Pathwaves with certain test subjects. That'd be cool. Exactly. It will enhance that sense that you're using too, which is your mouth. You'll feel a lot fuller. You'll feel, another thing you can do as well is blink repeatedly while you're ingesting or eating at the same time. That also helps as well. All right, so we're going to dive into some eye breathing here. How would you test subjects? So right now I'm actually working with a place here in Miami, and you can see some of the work I've done on my brain. They've actually tested my brain with certain alchemy breathwork practices. And by the way, some of those practices that you see on that page, some of them, I was just normally breathing. but doing different characteristics and tapping into the breath in different terms. That's my main point that I'm always gonna try pushing at you guys. It's more than the physical aspect. It's more than the one-dimensional way that people view breath. The breath, again, resides in all dimensions of reality. All dimensions of reality. And if you're someone that has taken plant medicine or done any of that, what you're seeing, you can utilize that construct of energy and implement it without the plant medicine, utilizing breath. Because when you inhale, when you exhale, where is it coming from? Where is the main source coming from? The plants. You exhale, plants take it, they exhale right back to you, boom. Breathwork alone is technically plant medicine. Yeah. All right, guys. So going back with the I breath. So what you're going to do is on the inhale, you're going to gaze down, looking down at your nose. And then on your exhale, you're going to gaze up. Inhale, gaze down. Exhale, gaze up. And then whenever you hear me go, that's going to be the cue to close your eyes and breathe where you can't hear the breath at all. But for this round, I want you to actually hear specifically your exhale. So let's give a little challenge into that. So be silent on your inhales and be auditory on your exhales. So with the eyes, remember, on the inhales, you're gazing down. On the exhales, you're gazing up. Inhale, you're gazing down. Exhale, you're gazing up, back and forth. And if you are at a place that is sunny and it's not too much for you, depending on where you are on your sun gazing journey, this is great to do. Great to do right in front of the sun. Or if it's too sunny for you and it's too much, at least turn to a spot that is shining, at least, because the clouds help reflect the light. You're still getting the benefits. If you get in the habit of, again, looking up, cloud gazing, you're still getting the benefits of sun gazing because you're at least starting to harmonize with the biophotons that's always in the air. And the light information that is always in the air. So those that are just joining us, welcome. Tap on in. So remember, on the inhales, you're looking down. Exhales, you're gazing up. And whenever you hear this, I want you to close your eyes, breathe completely silent where you can't hear the breath at all. And before we start, gaze down at your nose. And before we start, I want everyone to set an intention with their breath. What are you breathing life into right now? What are you accepting more of in your everyday life with every breath you take and give? Have that internal dialogue. Set the intention. Now we're going to start with the eyes gazing down, starting with the inhale. Remember, let the inhale be silent. The exhale, you want to hear the exhale. Inhale, be silent. Exhale. Deep exhale. All right, and we're going to start in 3, 2, 1. Eyes gazing down. Let's go. As you breathe in silence, breathe where you can't hear the breath at all. Deeper and deeper exhales. Let the inhale come in naturally. Really slow down your exhales. Whenever you hear the whistle again, that will be the cue to start all over again, starting with the inhale, eyes gazing down. Go at your own pace. You don't have to follow my breath. The sound of the whistle will be an exhale if you want to start with me there. Deeper and deeper exhales into the silence. Start to swallow your saliva as well. Next round, eyes gazing down. We're going to start on the whistle with the inhale in 3, 2, 1. May this be a reminder with every breath you have a control, you have a say in where the direction of energy flows. How's everyone feeling? I'm reading some of the comments here. Wow, this is great. Yeah, it's a lot different than just the eye gazing upwards. When you add contrast, it's less stressing on the body. In certain yoga practices, they just hold it up there. But when you add contrast and you're harmonizing more with the breath, there's a deeper resonant of energetic being in that sense of how energy is flowing in the body, back and forth. So that was vertical eye breathing. Leveled up. Yeah, if anybody wants to hop on live, you're more than welcome to. And share your experience with that. Electric. Thank you. Thank you, Bob's Pickle Pops. What a name. What a name. Yeah, if you want to hop on here. Yeah, someone goes, not like Kundalini. Nope. Yeah, you're right. Thank you, brother. Thank you for seeing the difference. A lot of people are one trick minded, saying that, oh, all this is this, all this is that. Vertical eye breathing through the sun. The sun, very magnetic. My doggy came over. He likes the vibes. Yeah, if anybody wants to hop on and share their experience, you're more than welcome to. See some people from Breath Family. So, yeah, tonight we are doing a live call on the Discord chat about the whole mental breath work, utilizing that the whole week. Today, this week is week number 1 of expansion. Again, if you're just joining, because I see some people from Breath Family joining. I'm just hopping on here. We just did some vertical eye breathing, guys, if you're just joining. Yeah, if anybody wants to hop on, you're more than welcome to. I'm reading some of the questions here. Gotta go. Thank you for this space. Thank you. Thank you all for sharing the breath, harmonizing in just that 1 minute. Super powerful indeed. Thank you so much. Both cats came over. We were like on my feet when I opened my eyes. All right, some people wants to hop on. Greetings,
Yo,
brother.
that had my pineal buzzing. Cause like I'm really like I feel like a secretion coming. And when you said like in like one of those old videos that you had, like you talked about how like breatharians have like a hole in like the back of their mouth or something where they like secrete something. Like I'm feeling that right now, like a liquid like dripping. Like it's
Yeah,
dripping.
that makes you a breatharian then.
Yeah, we all breatharians. Well,
Exactly.
we all
Exactly.
breatharians really. That's our
Exactly.
natural state.
Exactly.
And like yeah, like I just know I'm gonna have a good dream now because like our pineal is like clean, you know.
Yeah, this is if you're a bodybuilder or you work out in general, this is great to do in between sets because look at it this way: you have all that energy riled up in you. Especially when I work with people who even do Kundalini, like doing this in between certain sets, it's more harmonizing because Kundalini sometimes is too over the top. You know, it's in my opinion, it's not long-term sustainable in a certain sense. But when you have a directional sense of energy in this way, it harmonizes, especially when you're working out and doing this in between sets as well. You have a lot of energy going on, right? So why not redirect it back and forth in the body that way? Just like with utilizing this for sun gazing, if you're too lazy to get out of bed, this is also great to do with the eyes. Before going to bed, you talked about dreams. Trust me, yes, you are going to have some vivid dreams tonight.
You will, cause I ever since like and it makes a difference too, cause like they call the oil the crystals, and it's like it comes to the terms with like the term like as above, so below.
So below, yep.
Cause like once you do that, the breath work in itself releases the crystals from your pineal, and once you like ejaculate, like you don't really have vivid dreams anymore, and that's the crystals below, because they say that seed is Christ in the Bible as well. So it's like
Yes.
we have like Christ is like in many things in our body, and it's like it's crazy. Like you can't even really explain it really.
No, it has to be felt. I'm happy you're feeling it.
I know. And I was also gonna say, like, the alchemy breath work, like I find it like when you do like the partial breaths, like the like
The breeze.
it makes it way easier to do an exhale hold, because it's like it's really energetic, and I don't see any other breath work that does that, and I'm starting to see that like when people like when I saw the live yesterday about the guy who said like people were passing out and stuff, it's because like I feel like before you like start going into those like long exhale holds, like you gotta like prepare yourself kind of. You can't just go straight into and then go into the Uddiyana Bandha. Like you have to like slowly ease into it, and like you have to let your medulla oblongata adjust to the carbon dioxide tolerance.
Yes.
And that's why people are not surrendering. Everyone wants to do stuff so fast, but you have to slow down before you even go into that Uddiyana Bandha exhale hold. Because once you do that, like once you like breathe in very slowly, like you go slow as possible exhaling and inhaling, it's gonna hurt a little bit. But once you like keep doing it and like stay steady in what you're doing, like you're gonna get into an exhale hold and you'll be like, yo, like I'm holding this for so long and it's not even hurting. Like, and then like you start to like go into like some space, and that's how like the yogis, they like enter samadhi and all that stuff, like just staying in those exhale holds for like months straight. Because it's like you really, it's a serious thing, because like once you like go into those exhale holds, it's like you're diving into the ether, and you can't
You're diving more into yourself versus inhale holes, because you have to process the external world, versus the exhale holes, you're processing more of yourself, because there's more of you than the external influence and that external pressure. People don't realize that that's real. That is real in terms of the frequency of paradigm you are living, in the sense. So let's say you are really trying to break out of environment, right? Because you really feel how in your environment there's such a force, and you have barely any control over it. Well, why don't you push back? And the way to push back is exhaling more of yourself, and not just breath wise, but you get what I mean in terms of expression and elevating yourself in different means, so to speak. But when you can feel it, then you start to reside in certain energies that is similar to that way of breathing, and then you're going to attract certain people, and then you're going to push away certain people that of course doesn't resonate and doesn't align to where you are heading towards in terms of your path of where you really want to go. As above, so below, going back to what you said before, and that's real.
And it's like I started to realize, like once I came out, like because I went into a state like a while ago, and like that was like the first time ever holding an exhale hold, and I like, you know, like all the programming that we need this and we need that, you know what I'm saying, that can induce fear. Because if you really think about it, there's no such thing as a bad trip, and most trauma that you get from breath work is due to either your lack of gnosis on how to ease yourself into the exhale holds or something like that, other than you doing it quick. Because it's like nothing is inherently bad. If you really think about it, it's all in terms of like positive, negative, sympathetic, parasympathetic, you know.
Right.
So it's like, and I forgot what I was about to say, but it was about something. Oh yeah, you're breathing, like when you like you said earlier, you said that once you like, this was like in an old video, because I've been going through your YouTubes, like when you like exhale, like when you go into an exhale hold, like you said, you go into a different place. Like you kind of leave the realm, and that kind of like relates to how like in the Bible it says Lucifer is the prince of the air. If you really think about it, because once you exhale hold, you're not really in this realm anymore. Because once you come out of that state, like everything seems like etheric and floaty. Like you're not really. It takes you a while to get back in tune with your ego, and like until you take that inhale hold and then you ingest the matrix.
Or inhale the matrix.
Inhale the matrix.
Internal alchemy. There it is. Internal alchemy. That's what's happening, guys.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like the breath is literally everything. Like it goes beyond food grounding you. The breath grounds you.
It does.
The air is.
And going into how the breath grounds you in that sense. Well, some people like to say that the skin, the physical body is earth, right?
Yeah.
So when you're focused on the breath or the of how it travels in the body, you're focused on the earth in that sense, because the breath goes all over the body, internally, externally, travels in and out. So that is the grounding aspect of in that aspect in terms. And when you dive into the electrical aspect of it, then you're even diving to the spiritual aspect, the spirit that gives that magnetic electrical force that is propulsing down to our skin, like we were talking about melanin, and how when you enter certain light realms, your melanin reacts to the light.
Exactly. Like that's why these LED lights and all that stuff, like they can be, if you're under, like that's why the workplace can be such a like stressful place, because these lights, like you said, like didn't you like you change the, like what did you change the lighting to in the workplace when you were working with that business worker? You said like what's
Yeah,
a red light?
it just takes a conscious quote unquote CEO or one person to finally experience how important health is, and then they finally see the importance of their health. I'm like, well, shoot, if all my workers, or I like to say partners, we talked about language in the workplace too, how that's important in itself. But if all my partners who help my business grow is feeling just as good as this, then the business itself as a body is going to echo into a healthier realm of commerce.
Yeah, because breath is also, and I found out like I was really like when I was like, because recently I was just on like 12 days of just fruit and juice and like herbal teas and all that stuff. And I started to realize like I was attracting a lot more stuff like on a whole nother level, because it's like you have more control of your thoughts, and it's like you really become aware of your subconscious mind. Like once you like stop clouding your energy channels, and it's like yeah. And if you really think about it, like I think we're originally like blue beings, because like, and if you look at the sky, like the sky is blue, and the sky is usually related to air. And that was back when, like, if you read Man's Higher Consciousness, it says what we originally were breatharians, Arians.
Yeah, I don't know if you caught the live yesterday of when you talk to any physicists or any particular scientist that resides in that realm. Let's say you do give them the concept of being blue. What would happen when blue beings were to come on Earth, and they would explain how the atmospheric oxygen would react to the melanin. Always go back to the melanin. That'll make a person brown.
Exactly. Melanin is like the main thing. And like, look at the Earth. Like everything is, well, it's beyond like color, because like, but we have to be real. Like the original people of the Earth were like dark brown people. Like in Africa, like you look like everyone brown. Look at the trees and all that stuff. Like trees are brown. Like the earth is brown. You see, like if you look at like indigenous people's hair, like it looks like trees. Like we go up, you know what I'm saying? looks like a willow tree and like afros and all that stuff.
It's the closest thing to wool, as they say in the Bible.
Exactly. They said Jesus he had woolly hair, you know, and you call him a shepherd. A sheep has woolly hair. You see?
There's a connection.
Exactly.
All right, brother. It
Yeah.
was an honor for you to hop on here. Thank you so much. I think some more people wanted to hop on. You guys are more than welcome to hit the live button. But yeah, you want to talk about
All right.
anything else? If you want to dive in deeper,
Oh,
still
we
got
could
a little
dive
bit
in
of time
deeper.
here.
Oh,
Oh,
shoot.
actually, I don't. It's actually 3 more minutes here. All right.
Okay.
So I'm going to just
Oh,
hop off this. Thank you for hopping on, brother. And yeah, utilize this all throughout the day, not just the sit down session. When you're in traffic or something, just do a couple breaths just like that. That's what it's for. People, if you guys like to walk and you're harmonizing with your breath, this is something you can integrate into your walking habits in general and get a feel for that energy as well, especially when you're walking in a forest and you're in nature in general. Uh, that type of energetic flow, and specifically when you're harmonizing with the rhythm and with the rhythm of how the inhale comes down, the exhale goes up, the eyes going back and forth vertically wise, harmonizing with that, you start to feel the rhythm. And the rhythm is always around you 24/7, 365. Thank you all for sharing the breath. Peace.